Jade McDaniels is very good at basketball. I don't know if you guys have forgotten that. I certainly haven't, but he's not the most marketed player on the Timberwolves, I would say. Um, how do I put this gently? He is Kawhi Leonard if Kawhi Leonard was 24 years old, 6'11", and potentially the number two guy in Minnesota next year. Yeah, I said it. I think he defensively is all the way there. We're not going to get anything more out of him because he doesn't need anything more of his defense to get better. So, what needs to get better? His offense. And I think it could this season, and I think it will. Definitely think it will. I think it's hard to say that it's not going to get better. Um, like he's 24 years old. How much longer is it going to take? Not much longer because it's going to be this season. Jaden McDaniels is an absolute dog on offense and defense. Like we like to say that he isn't, but he is. Now, you could sit here and you could try to say like, "Oh, he's never had 30 points in a game." Now, I'm pretty sure that's true still, but that's besides the point. You don't get to mention that. Jaden McDaniels is the number two option in Minnesota starting this next season. 24 years old, same age as Anthony Edwards. He's ready to go. The Wolves are ready to go. Let's do the damn thing. And he just, oh my gosh, he's the Slim Reaper second coming. It's ridiculous. The more I look at this guy, the more I'm just impressed by how much talent we've gotten out of him for drafting him almost like not even in the first round. He was 29th overall, I think, in that draft. Like, who could have seen a guy like Jaden McDaniels becoming what he was? Obviously, the scouts and everyone that did their due diligence to figure out what exactly he was. But I'm not a scout. I'm not those guys. I believed. I saw a vision. I'm here for it. We're here. We've all made it all the way to Jaden McDaniels potentially being the number two option. I don't know how many more times I can say it. I'm trying to get you all excited about Jaden McDaniels. He is good and he has grown. He's 6'11" is what he's measuring in at. I'm pretty sure when he came into the league, he was measured at 6'8", 6'9". So 2 inches of growth. Now you could say maybe he was wearing shoes this season or something, but he's 24 years old. It's not terribly unlikely that he did actually grow, and we're seeing the benefit of that because he's learned how to play at 6'8", and 6'9", and 6'10". Now he's playing him at 6'11", which makes him the same height as Naz Reid, and Jaden's gonna be playing small forward. Yeah, I'm here. Why not, man? Whatever. We're gonna have some weird spacing if he really is 6'11". I do need to see the team picture of them standing next to each other to see if they are the same size. Actually, I'm curious about that. I am. But yeah, that's Jaden McDaniels news for you. Get hype on him. Buy your Jaden McDaniels jerseys while you can because they're gonna sell like hotcakes this season. Call my shot now. Now, next up, we've talked about a ton of trades this entire offseason because, it felt like they might chase one of the restricted free agents. We didn't chase many, I guess, UFAs or just regular free agents, you could call them. Not regular free agents. I would make them RFAs, which would also be restricted free agent. Don't call them that. Call them free agents. But we thought they might chase a restricted free agent or two, especially if Josh Giddey, Cam Thomas, Quentin Grimes, a couple other ones, if they didn't get the contracts they liked, they might be looking towards free agency. That didn't end up happening whatsoever because, well, I don't know actually. There's really no telling why. I think a lot of the teams that have those guys felt like they didn't want to get rid of them, so no one else got to grab them, which would mean the Timberwolves get absolutely nobody in the case. Cam Thomas took an absolute pay cut to stay on the Nets, who are going to suck, but he's probably going to get a ton of playing time and get a massive deal next season from some other team or the Nets because we do know that they have the most cap in the NBA going forward. Finally, I believe they had the highest cap in the entire NBA since 2017 before that. Yeah, that's what happens when you are coming off a Kevin Garnett contract as well as KD and Kyrie Irving and James Harden and Ben Simmons and the tail end of Blake Griffin. Yeah, that's going to check out. You're going to eventually not have a cap anymore. And you're also going to have a ton of cap after all those guys leave because who didn't see that coming? Not me, actually. I thought they were destined to win the finals that year. But Besides the point, we're not getting restricted free agents. We're not getting any more unrestricted free agents. We're not going to sign any free agents, really. So, is the best trade for the Timberwolves no trade? It's looking like it. The fans love every player. When I'm staring at the roster trying to figure out what type of moves we could make, what kind of moves Tim Conley's looking at, I'm not seeing a ton of stuff that's like, unless he's stealing some value, I'm not seeing anything that's worth moving. Now we know we have some contracts that are eventually gonna have to be moved just because timeline stuff, the cap, it does exist. We can't really go much farther into either apron. We don't want to go into the second one. We're already in the first one. So that kind of leaves all those guys who sit in no man land that aren't Anthony Edwards. I believe that probably Jaden and maybe Nas are viewed as untouchables as well. Maybe Randall, maybe Gobert are, but everyone else is up for grabs. But we're not going to get much back for them that is going to help us win a championship. So why move them? Why try to move something that could be a question mark into the team when we know exactly what we're working with? That's kind of why I'm leaning towards no trade being the best trade. Now, that being said, I have two trades for you guys that I think either one could make a lot of sense if we were looking for a role player to kind of slide into the depth, because we do trust our starting lineup, I feel like. But when it came to it, Conley really struggled with who exactly did he want to play when in late games, in kind of the injury games where a couple guys were out. Conley did not dive deep into the bench. Like, we had 5 or maybe 7 guys playing those games, which is expected. We have injuries, but if those injuries happen, I think trading for these guys, not a bad idea. So firstly, let's get right into it. Trading for some young point guard depth. Yeah, so obviously in this trade, we're keeping Mike Conley around. Dante might be the starting point guard, so obviously he's sticking around for once in this trade. But we are moving Rob Dillingham. Now, the more I look at Rob Dillingham's contract, the more I realize how movable it is and how many teams might be interested in actually trading for him. $6.5 million a year, 3 years. He's 20 years old, 21 years old. He's moldable still in an offense that, or a team that has the type of time to develop him correctly. I feel like he could be really good. With every ticking second, I feel like he is not going to be that for the Timberwolves, which sucks. So we'd be sending him and Leonard Miller to the Magic for, drumroll please, another young point guard in Anthony Black. Now, I really like what I've seen from him down there in Orlando, and I feel like he's going to struggle to find the playing time this year, especially with the Tyus Jones contract they have. And the other guard play that they have there is much better than him. That's not to say that he's not a very good player who couldn't elevate the Timberwolves. It's just to say that the Magic's guards are in a better situation than what we currently have on the Timberwolves. So he would slide in nicely behind Conley, and that would alleviate some of Dante's playing time at point guard, and he could play backup shooting guard more when Ant had to come out. I think that gives us a better option because we know Conley's pushing, 45 at this point. So we got to start to begin to find the guy that can fill the gap in between there. I don't not think it's Dante, but he's better suited elsewhere, if that makes more sense. Like starting, for example. Now giving up Rob and Leonard, giving up Rob hurts Leonard. Cool contract. I think it's a good trade. Anthony Black is a 6'7" center, 6'7" point guard, while Rob is coming in half a foot shorter than that. So I think Anthony fits the Timberwolves scheme a lot better. We tend to play a lot bigger of guys out there. Obviously, Jaden grew 2 inches. So I know Ant likes when the floor is a little spaced, but I think Anthony Black would be a good option for the team. Now, second trade, role trade here, would be for some veterans. So yeah, we'd be trading with the Hornets for a pair of veteran guards. Yeah, those guys, they've both contributed to the NBA. I believe they both have a ring. I think they both have a ring. Someone tell me, because I know Pat Connaughton has one with the Bucks, obviously, but Spencer Dinwiddie, was he on the 2020 Lakers? That would have been the only time he would have had a chance to win one, if I'm not mistaken. But those are obviously the guards we'd be trading with the Hornets. They're both on 1 year deals. If we're gonna go try to win this season, those guys right there. I don't hate either one of them. Now Pat Connaughton's making almost 10 million a year, which is an unfortunate contract, but I think it is worth it for the 1 year because I think he is serviceable. I think in a death role, he is serviceable to step in and play good minutes and get a job done. Spencer Dinwiddie, I still have a lot of belief in. I know he's had some injury issues in the past, but in terms of a veteran guard, it doesn't get much more honest and good than Spencer Dinwiddie. I'm not going to say anything more than good, but that's honestly makes a lot of sense to me. Now in this trade, we're giving up the guy who might be playing starting point guard for us in Dante DiVincenzo, but we do get to keep Rob and Conley, which is almost more important to the team, I feel like. And obviously, you guys know who the second part of that trade is. His name is Leonard Miller. He's going to be out of here. Yeah, Leonard Miller is gone in any sort of trade. Now, I know you guys probably you're wondering why I'm saying no trade is the best trade and then promptly showing you two trades. That's because we need to be open to everything this season. If we're going to win a championship this year, which I think is more than doable, it's going to be stuff like this, staying open to these ideas that are going to be able to win it for us. When I look at the roster, I don't think anyone should get traded, but as dumb as it sounds, I think they could if Tim Conley gets a call on the phone and it's not something he can pass up. I don't expect him to pass it up. He's not one to pass up a crazy deal. We've seen him make crazier deals with a team that we thought was destined for great things. So why not? It's also why would he? It's a weird season for the Timberwolves. I think that we just need to lock in and see where the team's at come trade deadline, come All-Star break, and we'll figure it out from there. But that's all I have for you guys today. Timberwolf to end today's video. Let's go with Lance Stevenson, I guess. He played there for a little bit. Yeah, why not? But that's all I got for you guys today. Take care, and I'll see you next time.